Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today this is my $700 gaming PC build. So this is supposed to update my old $700 gaming PC, which had some pretty impressive specs for $700. But ever since then, the market has changed and a lot of prices have dropped, so a lot of parts now are pretty good to get. So basically, right now, this gaming PC is actually very fast for its $700 price tag. It is actually very value oriented. It is actually really fast, a lot faster than you would expect for $700, since this actually boasts a really powerful graphics card inside of it that are which is a lot faster than a lot of the present graphics cards inside of $700 builds. So this is just a really fast gaming PC, and if you're wondering what sort of performance you would get out of it, in games like Thief, Battlefield 4, and Titanfall, all cranked up at the max settings at 1080p, even anti-aliasing being cranked all the way up, this will still run everything over 50 FPS at 1080p, so it's just really fast. And this is a great new starter build for all of those new gaming PC gamers out there who want to get into PC gaming, and this is just a really good $700 gaming PC to start off with. So for the motherboard, this is the ASROCK 970 Pro 3 R2.0. This is an AM3 Plus motherboard, and since this is by ASROCK, I can assure you that this has really good quality parts inside of it, since they used to be a part of ASUS, and ASUS makes some of the best boards out there, and so do ASROCK. And actually, I really trust ASROCK now, since they have literally a 1% fail rate out of all of their motherboards, so they are certainly a really good manufacturer to trust when it comes to motherboards. Not to mention that this is really good when it comes to overclocking, and it also can overclock your RAM if you decide to have that, and this has the 970 North Bridge, so this has plenty of SATA 6GB ports and USB 3.0 and all that good stuff. And it has two PCI 2.0 X16 slots, so if you were to decide to have SLI or Crossfire, this will support that. And overall, it's just a really good motherboard to get for this $700 gaming PC. Now for the processor, this is the AMD fx-6300 6-core processor. So a lot of you may know this, but the fx-6300 is a very good gaming processor if you're going for a value-oriented gaming PC. This has a bit of an edge against quad-core processors, as not necessarily saying that it gets better FPS, but in about 2 years, whenever games are going to be utilizing 6 and 8 cores, this will be able to have that future-proof ability, so that is really handy. And for having a really cheap price point of $110 for a 6-core with an impressive base clock speed of 3.5 GHz going up to 4.1, and being easily overclockable, this is just a no-brainer CPU for this gaming PC. And the reason why I choose this over the 83220 or the 8-core processor of AMD's FX lineup is simply because not only is it just cheaper, but there's no real FPS difference, only about 2 FPS. So this is just a really good processor to get for gaming, and this should just be really good for our $700 gaming PC. For the RAM, this is the HYPERX Black Kingston 8GB RAM set. So this is a RAM set by Kingston, which make really good memory sets ranging from flash drives all the way up to SSDs. And in fact, I actually have this exact set of RAM, except in a different color. So it has never bailed on me, and actually I do kind of like the look of it with the HYPERX logo. And with a cast latency of 9 at a speed of 1600 MHz, this is going to be perfectly fine for any of your games. And none of the games that I've played right now have exceeded 8 GB. Even with Titanfall, the most it was ever at was about 6 GB, but of like memory being taken up. But that's pretty much it. So 8 GB is pretty much all you are ever going to need. You do not need 16 GB. That is only if you're going to do a lot of video rendering, or if you just want to make a PC 2 years ahead of time to run games, then that would be an acceptable choice, but 8 GB is all you are ever going to need right now. Now for the most brawniest part of this entire PC is the GTX 770 by Pony Technologies. Now for the $700 price tag for a gaming PC, this card just being included in it is just extremely overpowered. It is so fast for this price point. Like, you do not know how powerful the GTX 770 is. It is, even compared to its old GTX 680, this still like massively beats it. It is like, I could probably say that right now, for being at a price of $316, it is probably one of the best value cards you can get out there right now for the high-end part of many gaming PCs. This is just such a strong card. This will run any game at all at 1080p at the highest settings, and this will probably also run games about 2 to 3 years later from now because it is just that powerful. You do not know how powerful this graphics card is, especially in the $700 price point for many gaming PCs in that price point. And this is just really, really, really fast. Now for the power supply, this is the Corsair CX600 600 watt power supply. So this is a really good power supply by Corsair. It is 600 watts, which is the most you're ever going to need, even including an overclocked 6300 and the GTX 770. This is 80 plus bronze, so it is 80 plus certified, so it will save power as your system runs. And this is by Corsair, so it has really good quality, and just for a really good price of $50, this is just a really good power supply to get. Now for the storage, this is the Western Digital Blue 1TB hard drive. So in absolutely all of my budget builds, I always choose this hard drive. It has really good performance in loading up games. You would think that having games on an SSD is faster, but only it's about 3 seconds faster. The only real difference is just having an SSD storing your OS. That is where the major difference between SSDs and hard drives come in, but this is never to be underestimated. I loaded up Windows 7 on a Western Digital Blue hard drive on my little brother's new gaming PC, and it just loaded up instantly. It was actually quite surprising compared to my SSD with Windows 7 on it. So this is a really good hard drive. 1 terabyte is probably the most you ever need. You will not probably have to get 2 terabytes unless you're going to be getting tons of footage that you're going to be recording from games. But this is all you're ever going to need for any sort of storage unless you're going to be upgrading in the future. And this is by Western Digital, which hands down make the best hard drives in the world, period. And just for a price of $60, this is just a really, really good hard drive to get. Now finally for the case, I thought I'd get the NZXT H230 Black ATX Mid-Tower. Now there's a reason why I chose this. Since the color scheme of this build was a bit black, I thought I'd put a black case with it. But the fancy thing that's about this case, for actually a surprising price of $60, it has built-in noise suppression. It has foaming around the case where it's not completely noticeable and it's not crazy, but it will soak up sound. So basically, this will make your entire rig really quiet, as a matter of fact, and still will have pretty decent airflow and will still have support for a water cooler inside of it. And this is by NZXT, which makes some of the best cases out there, hands down. Even the majority of my builds actually use NZXT cases because they're just that good. And with this really nice version of a quiet PC case with its really nice glossy black finish, it's just really nice. It has USB 3.0 on board, which is really good. And it has your audio jacks and your power button. It's just a really nice case overall. Designed to be really quiet, so whenever you're gaming and you don't have your headphones on, you will not hear any noise from your gaming PC. So I really like that part of this case. So that is the whole build. And for $700, this seriously is a major step up from my old $700 gaming PC. It is really fast. For a lot of you new PC gamers out there, this will pretty much run any game in 2 years' time easily. Easily. It is just that fast. And it will look really nice too, and you can just bring this to LAN parties, play whatever you want. This is just a really good build that I'm really proud of making, since it's just so fast and really good. And still meets the $700 price tag, which is a really good price tag for a lot of new PC gamers. So, this is the ScatterVolt channel signing out.